Have you ever felt short on time in your business, but there's nothing that you could stop doing? Everything is urgent and everything is important. In this episode of the Heart Centered Business Podcast, I want to share with you the number one thing I recommend you stop doing when you are short on time. This is episode number 446, which means you can find all the relevant links and the show notes for today's episode over at tashcorbin.com/446. Ooh, let's do it. Hello, I'm Tash Corbin, a business strategist and mentor based on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. The mission of this podcast is to help heart-centered entrepreneurs to make more money and in doing so, change the world for the better. This podcast was recorded on the lands of the Gubbi Gubbi and Jinnaburra people. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. It might surprise you, but when you are short on time as a business owner, the number one thing I recommend that you stop doing is chasing cold audience. Yes, I mean it. Stop chasing cold audience. If you think about it, when you're time sensitive, you want to focus on the actions that are going to generate results the fastest and the actions that generate the biggest results, the most needle moving results for your business as well. And chasing strangers on the internet is one of the lowest return activities you can do in your business. Not only that, if chasing cold audience is not resulting in sales now, what makes you think continuing to grow your audience is going to make any difference to your results? 0% of 100 is the same as 0% of 10,000. So let's think about this and dive in a little deeper. Do you want to save time on your marketing strategy, or do you want to save time on delivery? When people are time sensitive or short on time, their go-to solution is often to reduce the time they spend delivering to clients. They think that the best thing to do is to create a passive income product or to leverage their time and create a group offering. But every new offer requires a significant increase in your marketing time. So if you are short on time, focusing on selling or launching an unproven, unvalidated product that also charges less per sale than working with people VIP one-to-one can actually be the opposite of what is going to help you feel like you're creating that momentum. So in most cases, when people tell me they're very short on time, they would rather decrease the time that they spend marketing, and yet their solution or strategy is to decrease their time in delivery. So let's be mindful of what it is that you actually want to decrease your time that you're spending on. And if it's marketing, your cold audience marketing strategies are the one that take the longest to generate results and are the ones that are least likely to increase your sales, your bottom line, your results. Secondly, let's consider that increasing the amount of money you make per sale will decrease the marketing time that you need to invest. Cold audiences have a low price per sale. They are more likely to purchase your lower ticket offers, if anything. Warmer audiences are more likely to purchase your higher ticket offers. So by focusing on your warmest audience and focusing on your highest ticket offers, you will have to spend less time per dollar in your marketing efforts. Additionally, one of the main reasons people tell me that they cannot focus on their warm audience strategies is because their warm audience is too small, or their warm audience have been neglected or just do not engage. But they are exactly the audience who would buy if you just focused on them. So I would rather focus my marketing efforts on the 100 people in my existing audience than try and focus my marketing efforts on reaching 10,000 strangers on the internet. Those 100 people are the exact people who would buy if you took the time to connect with them, to ask them questions, to qualify what it is that they want to achieve and what they're stuck with, so you might be able to recommend a solution that is a perfect fit for them. So focusing on your warm audience, regardless of how small they are, will be more likely to result in sales than chasing strangers, cold audience on the internet. Not only that, your warmest audience are also the most likely to recommend you. They're the most likely to engage on your content. Engagement drives reach. So you can snowball your audience growth without spending lots of time chasing cold audience, simply by focusing on the warm. If you want to increase your connection to result in leads and sales, the number one part of your client attraction process that I would recommend focusing on is your one-to-one nurture. So doing things like inviting people to ask you questions, inviting people to tell you what they're working on, inviting people to tell you what they're stuck on, and actually helping them one at a time. A lot of people worry that too many people are going to ask for advice. Too many people are going to get free mentoring and free advice by DM or email. But the truth of the matter is that those one-to-one conversations are far more likely to result in people self-identifying as leads than any of the broadcast cold audience strategies that you would be wanting to put out into the world. If you really truly need to reach cold audience, and that's the only number or the only data point that you have a barrier around, if you know when you grow your audience and reach cold people on the internet, it results in sales, then simply pay to reach a cold audience with money. Because at the end of the day, cold audience reach is actually more easily and readily achieved by paying for it. Yes, in the early days of our business, we work on it organically. But if you are working on organic reach strategies already and you are neglecting your warmest audience, or the organic reach that you are working on is not resulting in sales, in most cases you don't have a reach issue. You actually have a nurture issue, a lead generation issue, or a conversion issue. And none of those problems will be solved by you chasing strangers around the internet. Don't focus on cold reach to solve a lead generation or a conversion problem. Instead, focus on widening those bottlenecks in your client attraction process. Get more of the people you reach into that one-to-one nurtured relationship. Get more of the people you have conversations with invited into a lead conversation, and get more of those leads converting into sales. Then you'll have the income, you'll have the sales figures to be able to invest in that cold reach, and that cold reach is far more likely to generate sales. If this is something that you particularly struggle with and you'd like my step-by-step strategy to fast-track your sales, that's exactly what I teach in my Fast Track Your Business training. I'll pop the link to it with the show notes of today's episode over at tashcorbin.com/446. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the Heart Centered Business Podcast. And until next time, I cannot wait to see you shine. And I better not see you out there chasing cold audience and chasing strangers around the internet when you know you're better off focusing on your warmest audience.